Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel, Boosted Mysteries, where we drive our cars to mysterious or haunted locations. I'm Eileen, and I drive a Subaru WRX.
I'm Eddie. I drive an FD RX-7. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. We do need new subscribers. Comment.
We do.
That helps a lot. Share the video if you can. Today, we are drinking Sierra Nevada Sunny Little Thing. Try this beer. Super good. This is the second time it's been on this channel, so highly recommend it.
So good. Really good. But anyway, we're going to dive into this. But big warning ahead of time. Lots of disturbing images will be displayed. So just be aware before watching. If you're sensitive to that stuff, maybe don't watch this video and skip it. Watch our other stuff. But today will be a little different. We're not exactly visiting a haunted or mysterious location. It's more of a murder location.
It's gruesome.
Pretty gruesome. But we're taking you to the Pyrenees Castle in Alhambra, California, where the actress Lana Clarkson was murdered by producer Phil Spector.
Harvey Philip Spector was born in 1940 into a Jewish family. His parents were from the Ukraine and first moved to the U.S. in 1913 and lived in the Bronx. It was said that his parents were first cousins. It's kind of weird. In 1949, when Phil was 9 years old, his iron worker father was in a ton of debt and took his own life with carbon monoxide asphyxiation. Phil's mother then moves the family to Los Angeles, California in 1953, and Phil attends Fairfax High School and was involved in a Jewish boys club and was a head cheerleader. Super interesting.
Interesting.
So back then, apparently that was a really popular thing to do.
Yeah, I guess it was normal for guys to be cheerleaders. I guess now it's not so normal. You don't really see many male cheerleaders around. But anyway, Phil was short and small in stature. He hated his name Harvey, so he goes by his middle name Phil. He was obsessed with listening to music on the radio so much that it changed his life. Kind of like you, huh? Music changed your life. He started hanging around the music room at his high school where he learned the guitar, performed I don't know why I can't say this word, performed in talent shows and starts a band with 3 of his friends called the Teddy Bears. That's a cute name. Phil started hanging around recording studios, trying to learn how to produce music. Gold Star Ross was a famous producer in Hollywood and ends up taking an interest in Phil and tutors him on music production.
From 1950 to 1984, Gold Star Studios was poppin'. It was producing music for artists like the Beach Boys, Richie Valens, Jimi Hendrix, and world-changing music. Phil learns the business fairly well and in 1958 gets a great deal to record a few of his songs for the Teddy Bears. One of his songs, To Know Him Is to Love Him, hits #1 on the Billboard's Top 100 list and sells 1 million copies.
I'm just going to stop you right there. So if you guys didn't know, when his dad died, on his tombstone it actually says to know him is to love him, so that song was written for his dad.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice to know. So Phil's mom made him learn stenography as a backup plan in case his music career didn't work out for him, so he became a part-time stenographer in court between 1957 and 1960.
Sorry, his mom's probably like, yeah, your music career isn't going to work. Like, what the heck are you doing?
She wanted the best for him. I would say that maybe he wasn't making great music at the time.
She didn't have faith in him. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was also offered a job as a UN interpreter for Fidel Castro. Interesting. Phil met Castro twice in a hotel room, but turns down the job to continue his music career. Unfortunately, the Teddy Bears break up in 1959, and Phil ends up founding his own record company, Phileas, with Lester Stills in his early 20s and developed his trademark, Wall of Sound. He ended up producing music for many other artists. He released a song called River Deep Mountain High and thought it was his best work ever, but the American public didn't really like it too much, so he ended up kind of resenting and retreating from the music scene and went straight into like a deep depression.
In 1967, he fails to sell his record company and pretty much goes into hermit mode. He eventually marries his dream girl, Veronica Bennett, from the Ronettes. She said he was very controlling and psychologically tortured her. She said he ruined her music career by not allowing her to perform again. He was a monster and put barbed wire around their mansion, got guard dogs in the yard to keep Veronica inside, and if she was given permission to leave, she had to drive around with a life-size inflatable dummy of Phil Spector in the passenger seat. Yes.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
It's crazy. If she was gone for more than 20 minutes, he would call the guards to go find her. He took away all of her shoes to make it harder for her to run away.
This guy is crazy. He's actually crazy.
He's very controlling.
Wow. And then to make it worse, like to keep her trapped in the marriage, Phil adopted 2 5-year-old twins and presented them to Veronica as a Christmas present. Veronica purposefully started drinking heavily so she could leave to go to AA meetings. Phil then gets a gold coffin with the glass cover and puts it in their basement. He promises he's going to kill her and display her body there if she tries to leave him. Veronica finally was able to escape barefoot through the service entrance in 1972 with the help of her mother and divorces him in 1974. She gives up all of her future earnings from her music because Phil threatened to have her killed by a hitman if she didn't comply. She gave up custody of the children because he regularly pulled a gun out on her and threatened to murder her if she took them away from him. Wow.
Definitely something is going very, very wrong here. The children were also being abused. He kept them locked up in their room as soon as they came home from school every day. During all the chaos, Phil Spector had come back into his music career. However, his behavior became more erratic and eccentric. He would show up to the recording studios in weird costumes. For example, in a surgeon's outfit or karate guy, and always had a gun and a holster on him. I
just wonder if like he would try to do karate or like do something weird. Like I'm sure he would. That's so funny.
I think so too. He was frequently high off inhalant called amyl nitrate, and normally that's referred to as poppers.
On one occasion, he started shooting his gun off in the studio next to John Lennon's ear. He would then chase John Lennon around the studio with his gun and threaten to kill him when he was drunk or on drugs. And then I think that also John Lennon at that point was like, bro, like, if you're gonna kill me, just kill me. But don't fuck around with my ears. Like, I need them.
He was very serious.
Yeah.
In the Beatles, I think.
I mean, for good reason, Beatles were pretty cool. But Phil just had a reputation of pulling a gun out on everyone, especially if it was to get him what he wanted. Phil disappeared from the public between 1981 to 2003 until he met the beautiful model and actress Lana Clarkson. His face made headlines once again, but this time it was because of murder. In Lana's early years, she moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in modeling and acting.
In the 80s, she debuts in a few movies: Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Scarface, 3 is Company, Knight Rider, and a lot of commercials. Lana was very sweet and did some volunteer work at an HIV/AIDS charity project, Angel Foods, where she helped deliver food to people who could not provide for themselves because of their condition. When Lana hit her 30s, she had a hard time finding work, so she made a little bit of money selling autographed copies of her movies and chatting with fans behind paywall message boards in the late 90s.
When she was 40, she needed to support herself financially, so she took a side job at the House of Blues in West Hollywood. On the early hours of February 3rd, 2003, she met Phil Spector. Initially, when she first met him, she thought he was a woman, but she was immediately corrected by her boss and then told that he needed to be treated like gold. So she did that. Then somehow amongst like their interactions, Phil ended up convincing Lana to go back to his house, probably because he was really good at like smooth talking, and maybe she opened up about like her career issues at the time. So maybe he was like, girl, if you come home with me, like I can get your, back in the game. And maybe she was interested, and she's like, sure, I'll go. So at this point, they get back in his limousine, and his driver drives them to his castle in Alhambra, California. Lana did make it really clear to the driver that she was only going to be staying for one drink. Then they enter the house. The driver does stay out in the driveway. About an hour later, the driver hears a gunshot from inside of the house. And then a few moments after that, Phil comes from the back of the house carrying a .38 Colt Cobra revolver and tells the driver, I think I just shot her.
Okay, well, he admits there.
Yeah.
So he probably testified. But we're going to talk and show you a little bit of the photos that we found online. So the first photo would be the entrance photo. The entrance photo shows a chair next to a door. It's like right in front of a mirror.
Which is not good luck.
Not good luck. She died on the chair. Maybe she was propped up on it. I don't know. But there was some evidence found. So Phil Spector moved some things around. What the forensic investigator found was that there was a bloody towel in the bathroom, and then on the staircase and on the railing there was some leftover blood. So I think maybe her body wasn't killed on the chair, but somewhere around there.
Yeah,
like she was trying to leave or something.
They said that like her acrylic fingernail was missing too. So later on we'll talk more about that in specifics, but like, yeah, definitely some sketchy stuff going on with him trying to clean up something. So just the story doesn't really make sense as far as what he's saying happened.
The driver calls 911. Police then arrive and find Lana dead with a single gunshot to her mouth. Spector was charged for murder, but was set free on $1 million bond and stays in the castle for 4 years until his trial started in March 2007. The prosecution pointed out that he had a history of pulling out guns on women he had romantic interests with when he was rejected, and on a number of occasions with artists in the studio. It was speculated that Lana was probably trying to leave when Phil tried to make a romantic advance, and she turned him down, so he shot her.
Yikes. Phil pled not guilty and said that it was an accident, that Lana kissed the gun and accidentally shot herself.
So there is a picture of a gun underneath her leg. So
yeah,
there's speculation that it was planted there. I think it was, because how is there blood on the railing? Because the railing seems kind of far away.
Yeah, like it looks like maybe stuff was moved around. Like I don't really know. But there's also another theory that he said that she was really depressed because of a recent breakup that she had, and that she actually voluntarily went and grabbed his gun and shot herself. But that raises a question. I mean, how did she know where his gun was? Unless he was like blatantly waving it around, because that's what he did. But I mean, like, how would she go do that? And then I think someone else knew that she had just bought in brand new shoes that she was wearing the night she died. So, the prosecution side of the court case was like, why would she go buy brand new shoes if she planned on killing herself that day? Just didn't make sense.
Why would she do it at his house anyway?
Yeah, in front of somebody. Yeah.
A new place. Like, you're going to someone's house, you don't know the place.
Yeah, you don't know the person. Mm-hmm. So weird.
Yeah, it just makes him look really guilty. But there's autopsy pictures. It's not graphic. It just shows you like a diagram of where the areas on the body are damaged. But it definitely hit her in vital parts of her torso. Like her neck probably just got destroyed, like where her spinal cord is.
Yeah. Henry Lee was a forensic expert testifying for the defense. The judge claimed he hid or destroyed an object from the scene, an acrylic fingernail, and a towel that had blood on it to make it seem like a suicide. Lee denied these allegations, but the judge did rule that he did do it. Unfortunately, there was a hung jury with 2 jurors unable to decide that Phil was guilty, so the judge ruled it a mistrial. In October 20th, 2008, they did the whole trial all over again, and Phil Spector was now 68 at the time. The trial was not allowed to be televised this time, and then officially on April 13th of 2009, the jury finally found Spector guilty and sentenced him to 19 years to life in prison. Spector did just recently die about a year ago on January 16th of 2021 due to natural causes at the age of 81.
My thoughts is that he had a really hard childhood. Obviously very controlling from the beginning, really open about guns, mixing the drug that he was taking and alcohol probably.
At that time though, I feel like the 60s, 70s era, like I feel like drugs were popular, guns also. I feel like everyone was carrying a weapon back then. Like a tiny revolver. I feel like that was just how they were. Yeah, like think about it.
I think so too. But is mixing drugs and guns ever a good thing?
Hell no. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
no,
I think he definitely killed her. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I think he's super guilty. I just think it's really sad that it went so long. Like, I think it was like 6 or 7 years after he killed her that he finally got sentenced to jail. Like, it's so sad that she didn't get justice sooner. I think that's what's messed up. That because you have so much money that you're able to, you know, stop these trials from happening. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He paid for his bond, which was $1 million.
Yeah, you pay bond so that you don't have to sit in jail.
Yeah,
the whole time before your
if he wasn't filthy rich, where would he be?
In jail.
In jail. So that was one thing, and then they also said that that guy, Henry Lee, was paid by him.
Henry Lee.
Yeah, Henry Lee was paid by Spector to like take out the evidence. So just crazy to think that like
he did a horrible job.
Yeah,
he left a whole bloody towel in the bathroom.
I feel that like they're just so like publicized and like they're just so famous that it's just like everything was messy, and then like stuff being televised like just didn't make it any better. Like, so I think that them making it untelevised on the second time around was better.
Mm-hmm. The jurors can now focus on the trial. I think that's what ultimately found him guilty, but I think there's just too much evidence on him being crazy with guns, and that's what put it over.
Sure.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys so much. If you made it this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments on what you thought about this story down below. Like, how do you feel about the whole case? But anyways, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.